Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever part of the world you are. Please receive a lot of love and blessings from this part. I'm glad you're tuning in today. We've been offline the last couple of weeks because I was busy with some family activities, graduations, and different things happening. But I'm glad to be online with you today, and we're going to be talking on how to learn a Scrum Master job. But before we do that, as you're joining us, please thank you for joining. Subscribe to our channel. Click on the like button. If you're watching us from Facebook, you're watching us from YouTube, you're watching us from LinkedIn, please be part of our community, right? The advantage of being part of our community is that you will be the first person to get all the updates from us. When we have content, you'll be the first person to get. You'll be the first person to get invitation to our special insight shows, invitation and notification on the different programs that we run. For example, we are going to be running a Scrum Master new session starting October 25th. And by the time we start throwing that out there, you'll be the first person to get that information. You also have some special discounts coming because you're an insider in our community. So feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our Facebook page, join our Facebook community. We are excited to see you. And if for whatever reason you have any question you want to ask, feel free to ask during the live broadcast. If you are not very comfortable to do that, go ahead and book a one-on-one appointment with me. That's a 15 minutes one-on-one, no commitment appointment with me. We'll be able to talk. We'll be able to go through some of the different programs we offer, and we'll be able to clarify all the questions you might have. So if you're joining us today, we are excited to have you. We are glad you're online with us, and thank you for hopping on, right? So we're certainly not going to have a very long one today. As usual, we try to keep it short, important, concise, and straight to the point. All right. We'll be talking today about how to land a Scrum Master job. I talk about that because a lot of people come with that question to me. And I also see that because when we finish training a lot of the students who come through our programs, there is usually that question which goes without saying, okay, after this, what next, right? How do I get from where I am to where I want to be, which is a career as an agile practitioner, as a Scrum Master? Now, the most important thing, first of all, to understand about the industry is that you need to ask yourself the why. Why are you trying to do it? That is what propels you, even in times when things don't look very clear, when things might look bleak. Your why is what is going to propel you. And the reason I'm saying that is because getting into a Scrum Master job is like getting into the top 8% of America. You are going to be working earning in the top 8%, which is only about 8% of people in America make six figures and above. So the expectation of that level of delivery and performance is not the same like the expectation of somebody working a regular job in a Home Depot or in a McDonald's or something like that. Are we together? So it's important to have that mindset, to have that understanding, to be clear about your why. Why am I trying to do this? For most people I've met, including myself, one of the number one drivers was to improve my financial situation. Number one. But number two, and most importantly, was to give myself a career whereby I could deal and create impact over a long period of time and be able to do it over a long period of time. So today I'll be sharing some tips on how to get into that industry, how to learn a Scrum Master job. Now, the first thing for most people who are listening to me, or most people who might have had a chance to do the training, after the training, of course, you have to build a resume, or you have to build a presence on which explains basically your experiences, which explains your profile, and gives a recruiter or a hiring manager a chance to look your way, right? It is very important. That is the first step. You want to establish, most importantly, an online presence. What do I mean by an online presence? I'm not talking about social media interactive sites like Facebook, or all of that is important, but it's of course not necessarily important when it comes to getting a Scrum Master job. The most important sites will be places like LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the #1 professional site in the world. That's where all hiring managers, all recruiters, anybody who is serious about building their business or building their HR department or building resources to help companies and businesses grow, they go there because that's where all professionals in the world interact. So if you want to be part of that professional league, you have to belong to LinkedIn. So you have to build a profile on LinkedIn, and your profile on LinkedIn will certainly list your experiences relative to some of the things that you've done that can be translated in the agile concept, in the Scrum Master concept. All right. Now, another important thing to do when you're building your online profile is think about it. You have to do some reverse engineering here. Just think about it for a second. Ask yourself, I'm trying to work as a Scrum Master. What does the profile of Scrum Masters look like? Go out there on LinkedIn, go out there on Dice, check it out, get a sense of what the profile of Scrum Masters look like. How does it appear? What kind of profile picture do they have on their profiles? Because there's a certain way you augur professionalism when you're on places like LinkedIn. You want to carry yourself, you want to present yourself in a way that when a hiring manager or a prospective manager looks at your profile, they know that this is a serious candidate, right? So you want to look at that profile. Another very important tip I will give you is look at the profile of the people you know who work as Scrum Masters already. How do their profiles look like? How does that stack up compared to your own profile and what you're saying? I understand the experiences will be different. There are things you certainly cannot put on your profile because you don't have that level of experience yet. Yes, that is good. But I just mean on a general basis, right? How do their profiles look like? How can you use that to build a profile too that is representative of you, right? That is the first part, building an online profile, building a profile that is attractive, that is able to win the attention of a hiring manager. Now, the second thing is actually applying for jobs. And I'll tell you, this might sound funny, it might sound a little bit tricky, but I've experienced it. A lot of people finish the program, a lot of people go out and learn how to be Scrum Masters, and they come out and they just have a challenge applying for jobs. Because applying for jobs is when the tire hits the road. So if you don't have the ability to go out and apply for jobs, then you reduce your chances of ever getting called up for an interview, and then you reduce your chances of ever getting a job. It's simple math, right? Now, my recommendation is you apply when you're trying to get a Scrum Master job. You're trying to play in the top 8%. It's a tight league. It's a league that has a lot of job opportunities available, but you also have a lot of people too looking for those jobs. So what you really want to do, my advice is usually go for 15 to 20 applications a day. Listen and listen carefully to me. 15 to 20 applications a day. Now, the next natural question is, where do I apply for those jobs? There are different websites where you apply for jobs, numerous ones. From Google, of course, you can see websites like Dice. I talked about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a very fantastic place to apply for jobs. You go to LinkedIn, just go to the search button on LinkedIn and see Scrum Master jobs open. You'll see thousands of them come up, and you can apply to those jobs on these different third-party aggregator websites like Dice, like LinkedIn, like all those different, like Indeed.com, all those different sites. Now, what is also important to understand when you are doing that process is also make sure that your profile contains the keywords. When I talk of the keywords, I'm talking of words that pertain to the industry, which is the agile industry. There are certain words that must be part of your resume, must be part of your profile. You must use words like agile. You must use words like servant leader. You must use words like time box. You must use words like leadership. You must use words like encouragement. You must use different words that gird the role of a Scrum Master. It is important, and the reason why it is important is because the algorithm within these application platforms like Dice, like Indeed, their algorithms are built to pick up certain keywords and relate them to certain roles. So if you want to increase your chances of your resume being picked up or your profile being picked up, you also have to use the keywords. Remember that the recruiters working within these platforms don't have the human ability to go through thousands of resumes at a time or thousands of profiles. It's not humanly possible. So they have built artificial intelligence generated and directed algorithms to help them minimize, to help them sift through profiles, to give them the best possible profiles. And for you to be one of the best possible profiles, you want to have all the different keywords and key phrases that explains why you're the best Scrum Master that company might ever see in their existence. Are we together? So when you're doing that, it's important. Now you also want to apply 15 to 20 applications a day, as I said. You can do that on this aggregator websites, but most importantly, also go to company websites. What do I mean? We are living in a time today where many companies are trying to go agile. Agile has come to stay. Scrum Master is part of the agile practice, right? It has come to stay. A lot of companies are moving in that direction. A lot of companies want to increase their productivity, eliminate stagnation, increase the ability to be able to predict how soon they can develop and bring software into production, enhancements to their applications into production. They want to eliminate waste. They want to be able to be flexible so they can pivot from one thing to another fast enough instead of the old waterfall system where they had to wait from beginning to end before seeing a final product. What that means is that a lot of companies need agile practitioners. A lot of companies need Scrum Masters. So when you're applying for those jobs on those aggregated sites, it's good too. But think about the companies themselves. So go to, for example, we have a big shift in agile and in the Scrum Master space today in the financial industry. Banks, a lot of banks are transforming. They need people to help them with that transformation. So go to banking websites, go to Bank of America, go to Wells Fargo, go to Ally Bank, go to Chase Bank, go to JP Morgan, and all of these banking websites. Just go to their website and go to their job boards. When you go to their job boards, you just type the job title Scrum Master and see the number of jobs that come up and go ahead and apply directly to those companies, right? Apply directly to them. So that way you are able to get directly into the system. A lot of times they'll require that you register and create a profile. It's a good thing. Go ahead and do that, right? So that is the next level. After building your online profile, the next thing you want to do is drop 15 to 20 applications a day, non-stop. What people don't realize is when you are trying to get a job as a Scrum Master, especially your first job, it's a full-time job to get a job. I'm not saying you go quit what you're doing. No. What I'm saying is you have to dedicate a certain amount of time to this. Remember, you're trying to play in the top 8% of America. It requires a certain kind of effort. You're trying to play for those who love soccer. You're trying to play for Barcelona. You're trying to play for Juventus. You're trying to play for Real Madrid. It requires a certain kind of effort, right, to be able to get there. So remember that to get into the industry too, you need to put in a certain kind of effort to apply for these jobs on a daily basis. The third thing I want to talk about, after applying, it's important also to follow up. There's a system of not only following up, but first of all, keeping track of what you've applied for. So every job you apply for, most likely you will see a code by that job, which is a job number. Whether it's on Dice or it's within the company website, there'll be a job number. Note the job number, note the company you apply to, note the date you applied for that job. It's important because you have to keep track of this. A lot of companies, if you duplicate applications for the same role, it might reduce your chances of being considered. Nobody will tell you that, but I will tell you that because of experience. Don't fall into that trap. When you're applying for jobs, keep track of the jobs. You might end up with a long spreadsheet, it's okay. You might end up with 200, 300 applications. That is okay. What you're looking for is that first job. And to think about it, to spend time applying 300 jobs and finally landing that first job that starts paying you $120,000 from a $40,000 a year previous job, I don't think that's asking too much work. I don't think it's too much work, right? So you want to keep track of the applications you're dropping. You want to make sure that you have the company that you're applying to, you have that job number. If there's any specific code to that job, you add it to that. The reason why too is because in your emails, you receive a lot of emails from job recruiters. And these recruiters will sometimes you might have 5 emails from 5 different recruiting companies for the same job, because the company that is trying to hire has different partner recruiters that they work with. And so they give this job out for them to go and find them candidates to interview for this job. So if you don't have the job code, you might end up applying for the same job 2, 3, 4, 5 different recruiters, and companies frown about that. Sometimes the recruiters might ask you, have you applied for this job before? If you say no, then they go ahead. If you say yes, they let it go. Sometimes they might not remember to ask you, but you are the one who needs a job. You are the one who is trying to build your career. So you have to own that responsibility, right? Don't leave it in somebody else's hands. Now, the fourth thing you want to do is following up. Now, when you apply for those jobs, if you have the number of the recruiter, or you have the email address of the recruiter, when you apply for the job, reach out immediately after you send out the application, either via email or via a phone call, and say, hey, 𝐒𝐒𝐓, my name is 𝐒𝐒𝐓. Hi, I'm just checking on you. I did send in my application for this role, job number this. I just want to make sure and check with you if you received my application. Or send an email. What that does is it's not going to work in all cases. It might work 50% of the time that you might have the way to reach. If you cannot, that's fine. They'll get back to you. But what that does is that it starts creating automatically in the minds of the recruiter or the hiring manager that this person is a little bit different. This person is a little serious. This person knows what they want, and they're trying to get exactly what they want. They are passionate about the job. They are positively aggressive, right? They're assertive. And those are some of the characteristics that people and employers want to see in Scrum Masters, right? They take ownership. They take leadership. They want to be able to lead and serve their team. That's what you're demonstrating, right? So you follow through, you send out an email, you're finding out exactly if they've seen your application. Now, if they've seen the application, they will tell you exactly, right, what the next steps are going to be, or if they're going to get back to you for set up an interview and things like that, which is normal, right? So if you're just joining us, thank you. Please go ahead, subscribe to our different channels. Click the like button, subscribe to our channels. You can book a one-on-one appointment with us for clarity of anything you might need to understand. Now, the fifth thing when you are trying to get that first job is, as you start applying for the jobs, start also preparing subconsciously. I cannot overemphasize this. Start preparing subconsciously for interviews. What I mean by interviews in this industry are in different steps. The first level will be from a recruiter. A member of the recruiting firm will come and talk to you, might book an appointment to have a chat with you. In that chat, they just want to do some basic finding, what your name is, your social security might be, have you worked before, what your status is, are you eligible to work. Sometimes they might do a preliminary screening, your basic skills. They might ask you basic questions about Scrum and Agile. What have you done before? What is it you can do? And things like that, right? After that, if they believe you're qualified enough, they will present you now to their client to be able to be hired, right? That is when you have now a technical interview, and the client representative will talk to you in more in depth about the position and all of that. We are going to talk about that in the next video. But in this video, I just wanted to cover the basics on how to get going with landing your first Scrum Master job. It's a whole process, but I wanted to give you the first key basic things to do, right? Which is build your online profile on LinkedIn. If you don't build it on anything else, LinkedIn, you have to be on LinkedIn. If you're a serious professional and you know what you want, you have to be on LinkedIn. The second thing you want to do is look at the profile of the people you're trying to mentor yourself against, right? Look at the profile of other Scrum Masters and make sure how it starts against yours. The second thing is you want to be able to start applying for jobs. 15 to 20 applications a day. And then when you do those applications, you want to follow up, find out if they received your application. If there's no response, no problem. Just keep applying. It's a numbers game. Are we together? A big part of it is a numbers game. Remember, to get a McDonald's job, you might go through about 7 interviews. One more of a job that is going to pay you 6 figures and above. It takes some effort, right? The fourth thing you want to do, you certainly also want to make sure that you start preparing mentally for interviews. You start understanding that the next step naturally is recruiters will start calling you, screening you, and trying to understand what kind of person you are and how they can position you, and if you're able to be the candidate that their client wants. Because don't forget, the recruiter is the middle person. The client wants a candidate, you are a candidate. The recruiter's job is to connect the two of you and see if there's a match. If there is a great match, everybody is happy. You get a job, the recruiter gets a recruiter fee. For that, the company gets a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful client, a wonderful staff and resource that is going to help the company get better and get to the moon. So, ladies and gentlemen, televiewers, thank you so much for tuning today. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask it. And if you don't have any questions, subscribe to our channels. We have Facebook, we have YouTube, please. We have LinkedIn. We are all over social media. Subscribe to our different groups and communities. Be part of our community. That's where we share information. You can also book a one-on-one appointment to talk to me or a member of our team with any questions you might have about any of the different programs. We'll be glad, happy to help you with that. So go ahead and share this video with us. The next time you see us coming online, please feel free to share to your friends, to your families. Bring everyone on board to come and hear. It's usually said people perish for lack of knowledge, right? So if you have the opportunity to be exposed to knowledge, don't hesitate. Share that with people. Give them a chance to join in the glory, to be able to enjoy the privilege of understanding what is happening and be part of the new goal rush. Until then, I have one more thing to tell you before I let you go. I don't know where you were brought up. I don't know what part of the world you are watching me today. I don't know the circumstances of your upbringing. I don't know the challenges you've been through. I don't know the different things you've had to overcome in your life to be where you are today. But the one thing I want to remind you, that despite all of that, life is for the living. You are able and you are enough. You are more resilient, you're strong, you are capable, you are intelligent, and you are able to be what you believe you are capable of being. So as you go out today, the one thing I want to encourage you is always remember, be well, be good, be blessed, and never stop being a blessing to other people. Until next time, which is going to be next week, share our videos, share our links, join our communities, and I will talk to you and see you again. Bye for now.